You ever check your bank account? See $247.83 sitting there. And immediately start doing mental gymnastics like, okay, if I just don't eat out for the next 9 days, and my car doesn't make any weird noises, and nothing unexpected happens, I might be okay. And then, boom, your tire light comes on. Your phone cracks. Your dog needs the vet. Your rent goes up and suddenly you're right back at zero thinking. Why does saving money feel so impossible? If that made you think, yeah. That's literally me. Stick with me because this video is for you. My name is Jeff, and I spend way too much time thinking about relative financial topics. If you're someone who feels like saving your first few $1,000s is way harder than it should be, who makes decent money but somehow never feels ahead, or who keeps asking, why does everyone else make this look easy? Make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the thing. Most people believe that money gets harder as the numbers get bigger. Like, saving your first $3,000 should be easy. But saving $30,000, that must be way harder, right? Look, on paper, that sounds logical. But in real life, it's completely backwards. And I'm going to argue that the first $3,000 teaches you more about money, discipline, and behavior than the next $30,000 ever will. And this is where people get uncomfortable. Because if that's true, it means the problem was never income. It was behavior. Let's ground this in reality for a second. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 37% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. And roughly 57% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. That means for more than half the country, $3,000 isn't a small milestone, it's massive. It represents safety, options, breathing room, control. So when someone casually says, just save a few $1,000s first.
Just save it.
They're accidentally skipping over the hardest part of personal finance. Here's what most people don't realize. The difficulty of saving your first $3. Zero has almost nothing to do with math. It's psychological. When you're starting from zero, every dollar has a job. Every expense feels urgent. Every setback feels catastrophic. Saving $100 doesn't feel like progress. It feels like deprivation. Because that $100 was supposed to fix something, buy something, relieve stress right now. So when people say, I just can't save, what they really mean is, I'm living in constant financial pressure, and pressure destroys long-term thinking. Let's do some simple math. Say you earn $4,000 a month after taxes. To save your first $3,000, you might need to cut spending, say no to things, build a habit you've never had before. That could take 6 to 12 months. Now here's the crazy part. Saving the next $30,000 often happens faster even though it's 10 times more money. Why? Because by then, you have an emergency fund. You're not panicking over small expenses. You've built systems instead of relying on willpower. Same person, same income, different psychology. Think about it like lifting weights. The first time you deadlift 135 pounds, it feels heavy. Your form sucks, your confidence is low, every muscle is shaking. But once you've lifted 135, getting to 185 isn't for times harder even though it's more weight. Why? Because you already learned technique, discipline, trust in your ability. Money works the same way. The first $3,000 is the weight that teaches you form. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jeff, but saving $30,000 is objectively harder than $3,000. That's just math. And you're not wrong numerically. But financially, difficulty doesn't scale linearly. With dollars, it scales with habits, systems, identity. Once you see yourself as someone who can save, the numbers stop feeling impossible. This is where it gets really interesting. The first $3,000 doesn't just change your bank account. It changes who you believe you are. You stop being someone bad with money, someone who never gets ahead. And you start becoming someone who prepares, someone who has options, someone who doesn't panic. That identity shift is worth more than the money itself. Because from that point on, every financial decision gets easier. I had a viewer email me, let's call her Sarah. Sarah made about $62,000 a year, lived paycheck to paycheck, and felt constantly behind. Her goal wasn't investing. It wasn't early retirement. It was just $3,000. It took her 10 months. And she told me something wild. She said, Jeff, my life didn't change because I had $3,000. It changed because I stopped being scared all the time. A year later, she had $18,000 saved without increasing her income. Same job, same city, different systems. Let's make this practical. If you're trying to hit your first $3,000, here's what actually works. Step 1. Shrink the target. Don't aim for $3,000. Aim for $500. Then $1. 0. Momentum matters more than math. Step 2. Automate something, anything, even $25 a week. Consistency beats intensity. Step 3. Remove one silent leak: subscriptions, impulse food spending, lifestyle creep. Just one. Treat emergencies as data, not failures. Every setback teaches you what your system needs. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can't save your first $3,000, you won't magically handle $300,000 better. Money amplifies behavior, it doesn't fix it. But if you can master the first $3,000, you're building the foundation for investing, wealth, freedom, optionality. Everything else stacks on top of that. So yes, saving $30,000 looks impressive. But saving your first $3,000, that's where the real work happens. That's where habits are built. That's where fear fades. That's where control starts. If this video helped you reframe money in a healthier way, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comments. What's your next savings milestone? I'll see you in the next one.